This.
Correct.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm not on Old Olive.
They
or they
seem to
don't.
have tons of business.
Shall we call this meeting to order?
Yes, doing that for my benefit, are you?
Yes. Maybe the awkward pause.
All right, it is 7:07. We are at 7:10. Okay, I watch this one. We are at 5 Oaks on Washington. This is the Park Commission meeting on April 16th. Call the meeting to order and take the roll. So, you want to do, you want me to do? You're taking the notes, right? Kate Pishon Hellman,
Present.
Stephanie Todd,
Present.
Jim Person,
Present.
Travis Neal, absent. Bill Hanson,
Present.
Sue Rich, present.
Thank you.
And.
Beverly Tucker Knight's taking my notes. A BART director.
From my computer.
All right, item number 2, written communication.
We have none.
Excellent. Item number 3, hearing from citizens. I think we have none
Triple check that no one's come in.
on Zoom.
Nope. No,
Good stuff.
no, just us chickens.
All right,
Did you start the recording? Okay.
Yeah.
Hear it.
I see the red button.
Okay.
Minutes. Recommendation is to approve the March 12th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. As we have a quorum, we will do that. Any additions, changes, or modifications?
No.
Someone want a motion to,
I make a motion to approve the March minutes.
we have a second?
I'll second it. Or Jim, no, Jim can have, no, Jim, you seconded it.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Approved. Item number 5, athletic field rental fees.
That's right.
Our recommendation to approve proposed rental fee increase, and you're gonna cover that,
Yes.
so go for it.
So, several years ago, the Parks and Recreation Commission undertook the monumental task of updating fees for Parks and Recreation services and facilities, and fields are the very final update from time immemorial when fees were very low. So you saw in your report just how low they were. We have a comparison here. We were $3 per day. And $9 for non-residents. And then we had a team fee,
Per
so,
day or per hour? Because it says per hour.
oh, it's per hour, sorry, it's per hour for the day, that's right. So in other cities, they do it other ways, so I apologize, yes,
Okay.
it was $3 per hour, yes, that's right.
It's really
So-
worked out, yeah.
That is a very old fee, it's probably the oldest fee the city has right now, except for maybe snow parking permits.
And the difference between prime time and regular time?
Well, prime time and regular, so different cities do that. So prime time would be your weekends or after school hours when
Okay.
there's really a lot of competition for fields.
Okay,
Now, this is to show representation of what's being charged in communities around us. This is not saying that our fields are on par with the fields in these other communities. So, for example, Clayton has very beautiful fields that were
Yes,
recently
we do.
updated for millions of
they're
dollars.
beautiful.
Yes, and then some of them have older fields that are maybe more on par with ours, and then you have Brentwood where they had a beautiful field, but it got flooded. So, so there is a lot of variation, and there's variation in all the communities. So rather than really compete against those, what we're really trying to do is recoup some of the costs associated with prepping the fields for their use that day, not for the value of maintaining the fields, because that is a very high number. And if we renovate them, it would be even higher. So we're not trying to recoup back the actual cost. What we're trying to do is defray the cost of booking them and then have someone set it up.
So on average, what's the game length?
It depends on what they're renting it for. If it's soccer, it'll roughly be, an hour or two if they're doing practice or a game. If it's baseball, typically what we get are baseball parties. People are renting the pavilion and then they want to play softball or baseball out on the field. Then, it can be an hour or two, or sometimes it can be the whole day. It really depends on who's using it and what. If it's a corporate event coming in where they're doing a company party, they'll book it for the whole time. They don't really care. But if it's a children's birthday party, they'll only rent it for the specific hours they use. it
And we
for.
don't have a minimum.
We do not have a minimum. An hour is the minimum.
Okay,
Yeah, and when we prep it, what we do is we put out the bases, we'll drag it and we'll line it. And the reason we do that is it's much safer. Just having a field out there, if someone's going to do organized games on it, it hasn't been dragged, it can be very dangerous for them.
Dragged, tell me what that
It
means.
means the tractor goes out and drags it with a drag thing behind it. that
Like
looks
the
like a-
sand area?
Yeah.
so it looks like it's freshly groomed.
Wow.
As freshly groomed as all of it can get, yes.
I
yes.
wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, question with the recommendation, so we don't wanna up it for prime time, like $5?
We don't, we get very low uses. We just wanted to bring it up to be a little bit more comparable, but
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of competition for our fields. We're our primary field user.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what happens during baseball season or during soccer season, other communities and groups will try and rent our fields, but we are 100% occupied with our own programs. So there's very little time that we can give them.
Okay,
We do have a soccer group in town that uses our fields and they play year round. So it would impact them and we will start charging them. Recently, they were playing soccer here at Warson where there aren't soccer fields, but with this coming in, with having a structure, then we are going to negotiate with them for them to
Okay.
start paying.
So a policy question.
Yes,
So let's say I rent the pavilion, no one's using the field. Can they use it?
you can. It's just like the.
So it's the same policy, which
the
is
same
if it's
policy.
not being used, they're
Correct,
welcome to it.
right.
But this guarantees that they have a reserve.
Yes, yes, exactly.
One other, one
Sure,
other question,
sure.
so maybe it's not an issue, but do you need to charge like a $50 or something deposit if people leave a bunch of trash?
We do deposits on our rentals.
Okay.
Absolutely, and those are already established. We don't have
Okay,
to worry about
for,
those.
for the
For the
fees,
park,
okay,
yeah.
so then.
Yeah.
I would, if it's not already there, I would add a line item that if there's, oh, that's in my eye, lots of trash. You're gonna ding them,
Yes, it's there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we don't need to worry about it.
So-
But it's an excellent point. Yes.
The question I see, camp, school event and tournament, do we charge Ladue schools for rental?
We do not charge them for Old Bonham's use of Stacy Park. They are out there every day with their PE classes.
Right.
And then they do specific end of the school year and beginning of the school year rentals where they reserve the park and we do not charge them for that. Any other use, if Ladue's baseball team wanted to come in and use the field, we would charge them for that.
And,
Because they
And-
charge us to use their fields.
okay, they do.
They do.
But
And
for
what
Old
and what are
Bonham,
their
we waive it.
rates? What
Pardon
do
me?
what do they charge us for their fields are
It depends
vastly
on the field.
superior. They're
Well,
vastly
it depends on the field. Their school fields are not so good. The
Right.
fifth grade center and the high school are very good. We don't get access to the high school. Sometimes we get the junior high, very rarely. We do get the fifth grade center for soccer, and that is a high rate because of the turf field.
Okay.
Yeah. And they don't charge us for practices at the elementary schools after school. But they do charge us, like during basketball season, they charge us for the games in the gym.
Because they have to open the building.
Yes.
So as I look at these fees, what kind of revenue are we, I mean, clearly the old fees, but what's the number of rentals that
We don't know because we don't, again, we're not able to accommodate a lot of the requests that we get because our programs are on there. So I would imagine a couple $100 to $1,000 a year is all we're
Okay.
talking about. Once, however, we renovate these fields, it'll be a different story. But the renovations, as you all know, they're are a priority for us, but they're not scheduled nor funded yet. Yeah. Pat is looking for grants to see if it's something we could potentially do. Sadly, Olivet's income has risen, so we may not qualify for some of the grants that used to be available for underserved and socially economically challenged communities.
Lexington Cake.
I love the idea of it.
This is more to put a marker in the
Yes,
sand.
yes, and to say that $3 an hour is.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
silly,
It-
yeah.
It costs us more to enter it into the
To do it,
computer than it
yeah.
does to charge that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think there is future potential, and if we were able to renovate our parks, I think we could make some substantial revenue on them each year. I don't think the revenue would ever be able to offset the cost to
Sure.
renovate the fields, however, because they are very expensive.
But,
It's-
but
yeah.
this is just to bring it up and
Yes.
acknowledge.
To acknowledge, yes. And the other thing to think about too is that we are gonna move in this budget year to having our fees approved annually in the budget. So this is going into the ordinance because it's going in before the budget is approved this year, but then after that, there's an ordinance that's gonna say that the fees are set annually in the city budget, and that will help us. That's, as you know, we've all talked about, we need to be more flexible, be able to move our fees more in accordance with the cost. So remember the last time we came through, we talked about charging an after hours use fee for this building because it costs us a lot more staff time to have people here on holidays and after hours. So we now charge a surcharge for that. So in future, we'll be able to adjust those every year as part of the budget process and not have to go through the laborious process of doing an ordinance and having 2 hearings and all of that. So we'll be able to be a lot more responsive to, economics and what our costs are.
Okay, so going back to schools,
Yes,
do we charge Miriam?
Miriam has never asked to use our
Okay, okay.
fields. If they did ask to use our fields, we would charge them.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we used their facility, they would charge us.
Okay.
So do we have policy or something that lets the Ladue school not pay? So in case Marion comes and says, well, we've heard Ladue doesn't, so
Yeah, so Ladue, is an interesting agreement. As you know, we have a gentleman's agreement. I'm not sure that's the current.
they perfect agreement.
We have a human agreement
Yeah.
with them for our after-school sports.
Mhm.
The reason that we do the kind of the quid pro quo with Old Bottom School is for decades, we had free use of their gym and cafeteria for our summer camp program. And the times that the school is walking across and using it is not a time that we're renting it anyway. So they do not have places for their kids to play outside. The park is their kind of their playground.
right.
Does that
Ever
mean
since they did
I
that
wouldn't mind
expansion.
having a contribution for their use of our parking lot? Sure, I would, but is that a can of worms we wanna open?
And I'm thinking less having them sign something and more just somebody else saying, why are they getting special
Right.
treatment
Right,
versus us?
yes, yes. And we do get free use of the schools, so we use all of their fields
Mhm.
at the elementary schools after hours
That
for
was
our
my
practices for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time they charge us is the AstroTurf field for the
And
middle
the
school
gym.
for soccer, and then for the gyms. And then the gyms, we understand because they have staff there and
Cause it truly
cover
is
the cost.
quid pro quo. We're getting use of their stuff.
We are, and if we have, if there are 2 Ladue schools playing each other, sometimes we don't pay the same amount, so there's a huge hierarchy.
So the last question.
But it's an excellent question, absolutely.
So my last question
Yes,
is there a relationship or dependency between renting the fields and renting the pavilions?
no,
It's whatever they want.
it's separate, so
Okay.
if someone
So
someone
it's
can
two
rent the
separate
field,
agreements.
someone can rent the field all by themselves. Or someone can rent the pavilion and then also rent the field,
Correct.
yeah, and it's all the same form, so it's where you
Yeah, but it's
check.
two separate. We're treating it as two separate rentals combined.
It could be one rental and you're
Yeah.
renting both places.
Yeah.
It's one form,
Right,
but the form
but
may
the
only have
fees are
one or
for-
the other.
but the fees are separate.
Yes, the
So
fees are
it's a
charged
fee-
separate,
That's,
correct.
there's not a combined fee.
No,
of
there's
any
not a
sort.
combined.
So there's no dependency. So which comes back to your question.
Well, there's a little bit of a dependency. If a group of 250 is using Stacy and another group of 150 wants to rent the field, we will not do
We
it.
will not do it.
Correct. And so in our software, that is a dependency. It has to be clear.
Okay,
Because otherwise there isn't enough parking, we
correct.
create a bad user experience for both groups.
But technically, if it's available and we can accommodate them, we will do it. We could
Yes.
rent 1 to 100 and now we do 100.
Yes, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so I want to be clear about that.
One more question. So, and I should know the, multiple part question. I should know the first part. What is our fiscal year? Is it June 30th?
July 1 to June 30.
So I guess my question is, if we make a recommendation today, will it be through city council by the time the budget's implemented in July?
Well, it'll go on the first meeting in May, so we'll talk to the city manager if she wants to hold off till the budget, we can.
Okay.
But I really wanted all of you to have an opportunity to weigh in on it and to really, no matter where, no matter when it goes, this commission absolutely needs to
Agreed.
feel comfortable with it.
And so my experience has been that the timing, this is.
Can you show
Because we
the
spent
other
most
screen
of
one more
May
time
and June doing.
with all
The
the
previous one?
comparisons?
Sure.
Just put it up on the
Yeah.
screen, just one more time.
Yeah.
So we are below pretty much every,
We still
well,
are.
we're way
yeah.
below now, but we'll still be below.
We'll still be below, yes, and we're kind
And
of
so
around
all those
Kirkwood.
numbers are
Yeah,
per hour, right?
yes, these are all per hour.
Okay.
So, and we don't charge a prep fee, but again, those are all things we could do in the future if we had a better,
Yeah,
better product that we're.
Well,
bringing.
Yeah, the only,
and if you need to recoup costs in some way, right? If our costs to do stuff
Well, you
What
also,
was
well, you don't
is
wanna,
going up, like our staffing costs. We could do that in a prep fee or something.
we could. This does not cover staff cost.
Correct,
This
Okay.
just covers a nominal administrative cost.
gotcha.
Sorry, one more
Okay.
silly
Sure,
question.
Sure.
When we say ball fields, is this all ball sports or just baseball or just soccer?
It's baseball, soccer, and we would like to start charging the cricket field.
Okay,
They use it for free right now. We would like to start charging them.
we had a cricket field.
Yeah, we have a cricket pitch.
The pitch in between the,
It's not a regulation size. It has a special name. I can't remember what it is.
So we have fields in every park.
No,
no,
we have open,
Just-
multi-use grass areas. The
Oh.
only athletic fields that we have are at Warson and Stacy.
Okay,
The other parks' grass is not appropriate for games.
I
And-
thought, I've seen,
Back in the day, they were
Yeah.
used for that, but it
okay,
is not, it's not
there's
an
not a
appropriate use.
diamond.
It's
All right.
the soccer was put in all of the parks, but it destroyed the fields. They weren't
Oh.
designed for it and it overwhelmed parking in neighborhoods and it was very
Oh.
unpopular.
yeah, cause I thought I've seen, volleyball at,
Volleyball was out at Irvside.
Yeah.
It was a sand volleyball. It was
Yeah.
removed during the remodel.
oh,
It was really,
yeah, okay.
Okay. So do we have any action to take other than these are what you're
you
recommending?
do, we're asking that you make a motion to approve this proposed rate change and forward it to the city council for adoption. And to Bill's point, it would be either during the budget process or it would be in May ahead of the budget process.
I make a motion to recommend to approve the rate charges as listed and forward to city council for adoption.
And I second the motion.
All right, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Approved.
Your question. No, but it's.
Oh.
That's right.
Did you have one more?
It's fine.
You can still ask it.
I know I can't, but I think we're okay.
or in July. you can ask it.
It's okay.
Yeah, take another. take
It is
another
not
opportunity.
mission critical.
But you're gonna get another chance. Maybe she's saving it for the big audience.
Okay.
Item number 6,
Moving on.
International Dark Sky.
International Dark Sky. So this year, for the first time, the city has declared April 21st to 28th, 2025 as International Dark Sky Week in Olivet. So this is a big deal. It's a big deal for us. So as you all know, Stacy Park was certified as the first Missouri urban night sky place and the world's fourth night sky place. So that's a pretty big deal.
Will you repeat that?
Stacy Park was Missouri's first urban night sky place and the world's fourth night sky place.
Of urban night sky.
Urban night sky place, yes.
I'm almost thinking we were the first in the country.
I'm not sure.
I can look that up because
believe at the
then
time, but-
I think we were the fourth in the country, not just Missouri.
Oh.
And then,
Well, we were fourth in the world.
I mean,
Yeah, we were fourth in the world.
but I think we were first in the country.
In the United States?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
United States.
That would be good to know. So if you could
So
find,
I will look that up.
I thought
because,
there was one other in the United States.
that's what I wanna look up. Shortly thereafter, there were a couple suburbs in Chicago.
Mhm.
But I was thinking you were
Yeah.
you were actually fourth in the United, I mean, first in the United States. Too.
The New York Times article that's on the website may
Yeah,
mention
we should
that.
look.
Yeah.
Well, I can just look
But
it
you-
up.
yeah, you can look it
I
up.
can look it up.
Yeah. So, part of the responsibility of being an urban night sky place, in addition to us making sure that we're following all of the correct operations to protect the night sky, but education is a huge component of that. So as you know, each year we do the free star parties, and we've had, speakers, we've done lots of things throughout the course of the year. We do social media posts, but this year we have the personnel now. We have a department that's functioning well. We knew we could take it on. So this year we're doing actual activities, but the best part is we're partnering with other groups. So we're not doing it on our own, which is fantastic. So I just thought it would be interesting for you to, so we had a proclamation that the city council declared at their last meeting. They did it ahead of the actual week because, there's a lot going on the next council agenda. But two of the key things in here that I thought would be nice to highlight is that what a lot of people don't know is that 60% of North American songbirds migrate through St. Louis and 40% of North American waterfowl. And this is an incredible statistic. So that's the Mississippi Flyway. We are right smack dab on the Mississippi Flyway, and it's amazing. So when you go to our website, there's all kinds of fun things you can do in there, and the International Dark Sky page actually links you to the bird migration live feed. So every night they show you who's in the air, because majority of birds migrate at night. And the reason for this is they use the sun and they use the moon and the stars to navigate, which is unbelievable. And then the reason they come up the Mississippi is that because they're following the Mississippi waterways, no mountains in the way, lots of food, lots of shelter. But along that migration route is a lot of danger. So St. Louis is the fifth most dangerous city to migrating birds. It's higher, it's lower in the fall, higher in the summer. And the reason for this is we have so much light pointed straight up. It disorients the birds. We also have buildings that do not have protection on them, so they fly right into the buildings. But what the light does is it disorientates them. They get confused and lost, and they'll start flying erratically, and they get exhausted and they come down, and then they're trapped in the urban setting without food or shelter.
Or
So
they just die
They-
from literally flying,
Yes.
from exhaustion.
From exhaustion.
Or they hit buildings downtown.
Have you thought of doing any PR around this, like with the news channel next?
Well,
week,
we're
or-
gonna start to, so during the week, we'll put out some information. Every year we put social media posts about this. But it's, Clayton does a much better job. Clayton has declared, they've joined Lights Out Heartland, which is an organization in conjunction with International Dark Sky Missouri, to help educate people. So that's one of the tenets we have in our park. So that's why this building has no light shining onto the building. All of the lights we have here shine down and are shielded. The architects wanted to put in all those floodlights that would light up the building, but we said no, because we really don't want to be more of a danger to birds. So our lights out in the parking lot are IDA certified. They shine down only and they don't give excess light above them. So, and the, you know, our inside of our building was, all of these lights that we have in here were designed to be on the human spectrum to protect us from adverse lighting. Now, we get complaints about that in the gym because you can see in the gym. It's fine. However, if you're accustomed to a really bright gym, you think it's dim. And then we have the auxiliary lighting from the skylights to do two things. One, bring an extra light from the sky, but also to, you know, be a green practice and need less electric lighting. Yeah, so anyway, so I thought as a commission, we are supposed to be kind of educating people too, so I thought it would be good for all of you to kind of hear about what we're doing, and there are a lot of great resources out here. So some events we're sponsoring. We have our star parties that we do with the St. Louis Astronomical Society. If you haven't had a chance to go to these, I strongly encourage you to go. They bring out amazing telescopes. And then at the end of the summer, they're having the Hobson Fest at Stacy Park, which is something they do annually. People can bring their own telescopes and they'll show you how to use them. A lot of people have Hobson telescopes and they don't know how to use them. So, and then they set up their big telescopes. And then on Wednesday, April 23rd, the Challenger Science Center in St. Louis is bringing in their big inflatable portable planetarium.
It's fabulous.
It's fabulous. We had it at the old community center, our first ever, we had a meteor shower party. And that was back in, my gosh, 2018 or something. It was before COVID, so it seems like it was
18,
forever.
I think.
And she did some
Yeah.
really cool stuff that night.
And it was so cool. It was so cool. So that's coming back here. And then our partner agencies will be here as well. Audubon, Sierra Club, International Dark Sky, the St. Louis Astrological Society. So it'll be a great time for people to learn about things. And the presenter from the Challenger Center is amazing. She tells these great stories about the stars and gets people very excited. And then everybody gets to go into she does small groups and she just does continuous tours inside the planetarium. So it's gonna be fabulous. Then we have the special stargazing the next night with, at Stacy Park. So, oops, so let me back up. Okay, so I wanted to answer any questions that I could.
So what, for the record,
Sure,
what can residents do to help turn their lights on?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you can shield your lights. We have a lot of information and you can get it at our night. We will have pamphlets for you. We also have direct links on our website about how to learn. Because what's amazing is if you have lighting that is IDA specific, not only does it save you money, but it also makes you safer. If you follow their lighting practices, it makes it easier for you to see things that are going on in your yard to protect your home better, and then also protect the birds, and also increase how many fireflies you have in your yard, because
Yes.
oddly enough, fireflies attracted to lights, and the new LEDs with the blue spectrum, they're even more attracted to. And so they, you know, it interrupts the reproduction cycle. They think they've met their match, their love, and it's, you know.
Well, and then what
The
they
light
also
bulb.
do,
Yeah.
so they have to blink to find a mate. So if you've got a bright light shining in your backyard, they have to blink too hard. And
Yes.
so again, they can't blink bright enough,
Correct.
or they wear out again, or they don't find anyone
Yeah,
because they can't
it's
blink over
heartbreaking.
your light, yeah.
So if you talk to anybody that grew up in St. Louis, what you hear time and time again is, oh, there used to be so many fireflies when I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
second leading cause of firefly decline after habitat loss. And it also disrupts migrating monarch butterflies.
That's, yeah, because at
Just-
night when it's really bright at night, they think it's daytime.
So do you
That's
need,
what I-
as commissioners, do you need us to do anything? to
Well, I
assist?
would love for you to come to these events, because it's amazing to see the different people that come to the star parties. It's very interesting. Oftentimes it's just people that are walking in the park and don't realize it's happening, and then they may have no other connection. and not be, if they don't have young kids, they're not looking at our activity guides. Some of them don't know we have a community center, so it's a great time to kind of chat with people.
But the star parties are getting a reputation and people will drive from, like Chesterfield
True,
out and
true.
come in just to see them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing the variety. You get families walking up, you get people driving, half an hour, 45 minutes. It's really interesting.
The police officer stop by, the fire department comes out, and what's great is. From Stacy Park, I've seen the rings of Saturn, I've seen the moons of Jupiter. I mean, it's amazing what you can see from there. Yeah.
So I may have just missed if there was more publicity about this earlier. But I'm worried that we're so close, like it's next week.
Well, it's in the activity guide. It was mailed to every household. It's been on our social media. It's on our
Yeah.
website.
Has it
We've
been
done
on the
email
city
blasts.
one all
Um,
that
I
long?
have
We don't-
not seen it pushed out into the city that much.
yeah, yeah.
I know
They mentioned
usually,
it at the meeting, but
I think especially because of the proclamation, I wonder if it could
On Monday,
be, yeah,
well, Tuesday I can add it more to my report.
but
Right.
what we're saying is on.
Oh,
Monday,
but it's
but
Wednesday.
it's pushed out on Monday.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah.
someone talk to Kiana
Yes,
tomorrow?
yes.
well, and I was gonna say, usually Beverly puts,
We have weekly emails that go out from here to all of
And
our.
at the bottom, she makes a link to the park, but I don't think that's enough. I think it
No.
needs
Yeah.
to be.
especially because it's not just a park thing now with the city proclamation. I think because normally the park stuff is all the way at the bottom of this, at least the emails that come from the city. It'd be great if we could get it bumped
So
up.
as I understand, there's some challenges of getting space on the Olivet. I'm thinking if you could, as a council member, chat with Jennifer to see if we can get that going pretty quickly.
and I have a question, a recommendation. Since the city is making a recommendation or a proclamation, I would ask that all the city lights be all turned off or, during May.
Yeah, I have
During
control,
May or just-
I have control over Parks and Recreation.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking Maxine.
I can take it back to Jennifer, but
Yeah.
I don't
That's so,
say for the month of May,
our building was designed with
I
kill
would have to take them
switches.
back, but they,
Yeah,
I mean, I know some buildings they won't.
Because-
I can tell
Safety
you,
Purposes.
so our building was designed with kill switches. We can turn our lights off. The city center cannot. They do not have the capability to turn their lights off the way we turn ours off.
But like the Clayton government buildings do.
They
and-
do.
And they, for Lights on Heartland, but they leave the entrances on and like the city jail, so they leave certain lights on for safety.
Right.
But as a rule, they turn off all the non-essential lights
So
for May.
Clayton joined Lights Out Heartland. The
Right.
city of Olivet did not. So that's the difference there.
I know, but but Clayton
I
made,
think though, this is kind of beyond the scope of.
Okay.
the
Right,
park.
Yes,
Yeah.
beyond our scope.
I think
Yes.
this is
This
city
is a
manager
council
level.
level thing.
Yeah, it would be, it's certainly something that council could explore in the future.
But I can definitely talk about bumping up the fines.
The discussion.
You and I will coordinate.
I would like to tackle that. I don't want you to, okay. If I need to, but
I'll be your backup.
so can I add a couple more things?
Sure.
So, like Beverly said, literally thousands of birds are killed in St. Louis. The St. Louis Audubon Society does it's really depressing. They pick up dead birds during migration in downtown, and so it's all backed up by studies and statistics, and so during bird migration, they go in the mornings and pick up around the same buildings, and they do it all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah. They're
so,
collecting the data and they do it at WashU and I think SLU does it too.
yeah, so,
WashU's been trying to reduce their bird strikes.
yeah, so every little bit helps, because yes, this ones pointing up are the worst, but somehow basically the whole sky glow too, it all contributes
it
to
all
it. It's like
Yeah.
weird. And,
Yeah, if you are interested, I have lots more information I can give to you. It is staggering, the changes that have come, and it's getting worse. But as International Dark Sky says, it's reversible. Light pollution is
Yeah,
reversible. Yes.
Something we can do something
Speaking
about.
of what we can do we turn off the lights in the, in the, fitness area at night?
We do, but when the cleaners come in, they all come back on. But it's motion sensor. They go out. They eventually
They,
do go
they
out.
will go out.
They will go
Yeah,
out.
I'm thinking, I mean, I think we've had some problems with bird strikes around.
Yes,
here.
we have bird strike problems here.
But that's
Yes.
different than leaving the lights on.
Ours aren't migratory, ours
Yeah.
are, our neighbors, our permanent residents here.
Okay, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
So I was
We don't care.
also,
we do care very much.
No, I,
But we didn't-
but I
we didn't-
understand that.
We didn't put the challenge.
They're daytime strikes.
so I was gonna check if the, like, the community center can be a lights out Heartland building. Cause there's like built partnerships, like, I
That's a
don't know
great
why.
idea. Well,
I
let's
don't know
find
why
out.
the Parks Commission could, or the park couldn't be a lights out
We
Heartland
can't,
partner.
we are, the Parks and Recreation Department is, and we
Okay.
promote Lights Out Heartland. We
And then
do
you
posts
could
and we
also
talk
be,
about it, yeah.
they call them building partners,
Okay.
where your buildings participate. And
Okay.
so I was gonna check to see, do you really have to turn off all the lights? Or if you have all dark sky compliant lights, is that good enough to be?
Yeah, that would be a good thing to find out, because typically what we do is we turn off our patio lights, because they really are decorative. They're down right now because we're repairing the pole, but, it was very timely. It's during migration time. That would be great. And the other thing, before we go, I just wanted to find out, do you and Bill have a timeline yet of when you wanna start? Oh my
Not
God, look
done,
at you guys.
We're working on it.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you.
That was part of my question on, do we need to have something at every park?
Oh,
Because then
okay.
that makes it much longer
Yes,
versus if we can keep doing things at Stacy.
yeah. Well, you are so lucky too, because the first time we did this, the application process was brutal. They've really streamlined it.
Yeah,
We were a guinea pig, so it was.
they were, yeah.
We did 8 applications, because
Oh.
we kept turning them in and they kept changing what they
Yeah.
needed, so
It was very frustrating.
But it was good. Do you have all these PhD scientists running this, and, it was,
They all want something different.
it was good though. I mean, it was really good. Okay,
All right,
all right,
are we done?
we
with
are
that?
done. Thank
All right.
you, everyone, for
Item-
indulging me on that.
Item number 7, bicycle ordinance update.
Great. Okay, so bicycle ordinance update. So I wanted to report back to you, the last time we discussed this, you had questions about, primarily about enforcement. How would it be enforced? So I met with the police chief, and she really likes our proposals. And we crafted this, she is 100% on board with this. So our primary goal is we want to increase safe operations for riders and safeguard park users. That's our primary goal. So we'll do this through education. It'll be through print, social media, and one-on-one conversations. And the one-on-one conversations are police officers and violators. Outreach is by police officers to parents of minors. So as with other ordinances in the city, in the code, when minors are involved, the first thing the police department tries to do is do outreach with the parents. We don't want to arrest children. They want to, help the family understand what's going on and then bring everything into compliance. And then a citation is the last worst case scenario. It's important to have, because it could be someone who's an adult that's a frequent violator. And so finally, a citation is what's issued to really hammer the point home. But their goal is not to cite first, their goal is to educate first. And then the Parks and Recreation Department, we would be partners in that education to help get the word out. So articles in Olivet Life, posting things up in the parks, pushing out through social media, and maybe some engagement with the schools. So I wanted you all to know that you had a very an excellent observation. How would this be enforced and how to be used? So I wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable with that. So the proposed ordinance updates would be the same as we went through in our last report. So it would allow the class 1 and 2 e-bikes in the parks.
Can you remind us the difference between 1, 2, and 3?
It's the speed at which they can go and the power of their motor.
Okay.
Yes, and the definitions would be in the code is what those
Okay.
are. It would prohibit the class 3, which are the bigger ones that can go faster and have the larger engine. It would prohibit bicycles and e-bikes on all unpaved park trails. This is language we don't have right now,
So
so
like sassafras.
like sassafras and cottonwood, yes. And it would adopt a maximum 15-mile-per-hour speed limit for all bikes on paved trails. And then, as we talked about at the last meeting, we would post these signs. We'd make sure that we did outreach for everybody, particularly in the spring, to make sure everybody understands. Because some people have no idea how fast they're going. If they don't have a speedometer on their bike, they don't know. You can get up to pretty good speed in some of our parks if you're really pumping hard and going down the hill. So it's good education for everybody.
So I have a couple questions.
Yes.
So does it apply to the path from whatever, Mansfield down to Deal?
Yes, that path has already posted that that motorized vehicles are not allowed on that. So we would put the same, so e-bikes would be allowed on there, but we do need to put up the speed limit signs for bikes.
And that includes both pedal
Yes,
bikes
Both
and.
pedal bikes and e-bikes.
Yeah, see, I don't think well, whatever.
We
Yeah,
don't
you
have,
put
we
a
don't have
speed
any,
limit.
we don't have any speed limits up on there right now.
So, and I was looking, I took a picture of it. So in Florida of all places, in Miami, they have a big, huge park and they have like the little, whatever signs
Mhm.
that say no motorized like scooters or, I mean, you'd have to say, but they actually have a nice sign that's right along the path
Yes.
that says that.
And those are the signs we talked about in the report that follow our wayfinding. We have those designed, they're in our wayfinding schedule. And the park crew has started, you've seen the signs they put on the trails. So we're gonna start doing that along the pathways. And then the trails that already have signs, we're just gonna put a little medallion that says bike and then a circle and a slash through it. 'Cause
Yeah,
in all of our park signage, we really try and use icons because they are translate to all languages.
yeah, that's essentially what they
And
have.
children.
Yeah.
And
kids too,
it's
yes.
one of those, what do you
They don't
call
have
it? It's
to
like a
read.
stand-up sign. It's not on a pole. It's a this.
Triangle,
A
tripod.
triangle, yeah.
Triangle, yeah.
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 tripod sign.
So as with anything, we'll phase them in. We want to watch our cost. So, but we now that we know we can do them in-house, it's a lot easier for us to do them.
So what do you recommend, because police they might be in Stacy Park, but they're not gonna be sitting around watching.
Well,
The
so as with all of our ordinances, like smoking in the parks,
Right.
it's complaint driven. So if there is someone who is doing a systematic, regular violation, we work with the police department. So we had, particularly during construction of this park, we had 2 kids on dirt bikes that were coming through this park consistently, driving through construction. And it was the same time of day, every day. We let the police know, they came out, they found them, they found their parents, and it stopped it.
Okay,
It turns out their parents worked in the industrial park and the kids would get out of school and then they would come through. So it's community policing and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was my point. So I guess
Yeah.
if we see kids, we need to call the police.
So,
it depends.
so can I give my example?
Sure.
So this happened today, about 3 o'clock. I was walking on the path, got on at Dealman. I probably got maybe 3 or 4 minutes into the path. And coming straight at me were 3 dirt bikes flying.
Right.
And I simply stepped into their line, put my hand up, and
Oh my
they
God.
stopped. I mean, they were far enough back and they were just flying. And they stopped and I said, you guys need to get out, get off the trail. But more importantly, you need to slow way down to get off at Dealman and stay off the trail. And they're like, we're sorry, we'll do it, okay.
That's good.
And
Not
then,
everyone's as brave as you.
Right. That's a good
well,
me.
it's community policing. So then I said, 3 women that were walking their dogs turned to me as I walked by them and said, thank you.
Right.
Because I said, and they said, well, yeah, you can do it too. You know, I said, anyone could, there's no bikes, powered dirt bikes allowed on the trail. Tell them
And that
that.
trail is.
And 9
posted
times out
now.
of 10, they'll go away and not come back. I mean, you're gonna have the kids that are gonna do it over and over again, but these kids were clearly getting away with it, right? And they thought they got away with it until they saw me, they did not get away. with it.
One of our former commissioners called me because he knew we were discussing this, and he said the big thing in his son's middle school right now is the Boy Scout dirt bikes. He said it's a big fad in Ladue right now.
And that's great, but they can't run them on the
Can't be
trail
on the parks. Can't be
or in the
parks.
park.
Well, they're actually not supposed to be on the roads.
Yeah.
Well, that's, so my other question to you,
On the roads.
Yeah.
Because they're underage.
Right.
so my other question was, okay, so you see them on the trail, direct them off. How do we do that without causing more of a problem, right?
Well, you probably were a little more aggressive than most
Yeah,
walkers would be.
I just told them to slow
So,
down
Yeah,
and
it is.
get off the trail as soon as they could.
Again, the education, letting people know that they're not legal, they're not supposed to be out there, and it's not a good idea for a child under 16 to be driving a dirt bike on a community suburbs, roads and sidewalks. It's just, it's not.
And
safe.
it doesn't go well with the dog walking.
I can agree to
Now,
that.
when you say a dirt bike, are you
That-
talking about the ones that are less than 49 CCs or what?
There are all kinds. There's
You know, I don't-
large ones,
Are
small
they
ones.
powered?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gas powered.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
well, and I was wondering if they're
They're like
electric.
little mini
I don't know,
motors.
not yet, right? There's.
Yeah, the mini-
I think
yeah, they're
there's-
called mini bikes.
The
They're
ones
like-
I'm seeing.
They're quiet, they're way quieter than the ones we had when we were that age,
Yeah.
but they're bigger too,
Well,
right?
and
And
there's-
so it's a mini
You see them-
motorcycle.
You see them a
Yeah,
lot.
there's a lot, I mean, there's 2 things that I see in this, isn't it? So I mean, how it is, that I haven't seen many gas powered ones, but I've seen a lot of the almost fat bike tires, the really
Oh,
big
yeah,
bikes
those are very
that with
popular.
the
Costco.
that are electric powered.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, and the other ones I see flying up and down, like Villa,
Yeah.
and other
Yeah.
places,
Yeah.
that's, they.
And I'm not sure if that's what this was or not, cause I didn't look that closely. I just
And
wanted
they're-
to slow down before they hit a dog or a person.
I mean, the kids these youngsters that are out there,
Get off my lawn.
get off my lawn, even though you're on the.
That's what I
road.
felt like, I told
Oh.
my parents.
But they're doing, by federal law, they can only do 28 miles an hour, and they're doing 28 miles an hour.
I mean, they're going as fast as they can be.
Yeah.
I know.
But here's,
But I blame the parents, cause
Well-
where are these kids gonna, what are they thinking, buying this for a 10-year-old and a 12?
In a neighborhood.
Yeah,
I mean-
where do they think they're gonna ride this?
flip side, not to defend the kids, but as somebody who, when I actually am in shape and cycle, when I have my road bike out, it's not unusual for me to be doing 30 miles on a
Oh,
road.
yeah.
So, I mean, I wanna be careful that we're not saying,
Oh, absolutely.
you gotta do something,
I know.
Yeah, it's
So
very
it's-
appropriate. It's
yeah,
very appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a
yeah. I
multi-use
love
trail.
going 30
no,
miles
again,
an
the
hour
trail's
on a
different
bike.
than,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, can I ask one other question, or so go ahead, Jim? No, wait.
A question, go back. It seems to me that somewhere in allow class 1 and 2 e-bikes, that we need to put something in parentheses in terms of speeds, because
Well, that's what this
It's
is
already
right
in
here. Whoops, number 4
Yeah,
is the
it's
maximum
already there.
speed.
Period,
And that's
regardless
on
of
paved
what it
roads
is.
only, because they're
But-
forbidden on the unpaved.
okay, but when you say you're gonna prohibit a class 3 bike, somebody who's not in the biking world does not know what a class 3 bike is.
That's correct, but someone who is in the biking world and owns a class 3 bike, they know what it is. Because
and
then remember, we use the standard from the industry, so when they sell the bikes in the stores, the class is on the bikes.
But from an ordinance standpoint, shouldn't there be something for each class of bike?
Well, for an ordinance standpoint, this is the way it was recommended from other ordinances in other cities. Remember,
Okay,
we're not reinventing the wheel. And the ordinance now will be worked on between the police chief and myself and then looked at by the city
Okay, so
attorney.
this isn't the final
No,
funds
then
go.
you are recommending that this be
The standards.
sent to the city council.
Okay, and then they
Yes.
will create the code.
They will create, yes,
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
that's what
you
I-
don't have to create the code.
And my point was, calling the police is great, but they're gonna be long gone.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's gotta have community policing. People have to, I don't know that I would have stopped and done that if they were on Dealman or one of the roads. But clearly, when there's people on the path and there's these bikes flying down the path, it's up to us, cause if you call the cops, they're gonna be long gone before the cops show up.
They're doing 20
Well, the
miles an hour.
you can call the cops when you see
Repetitive, yeah.
repetitive, if you get a photograph.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
cause the problem with self-policing is, first off, I don't think, I would not stand in front of them like you did. I mean, that's fine if you
There
did.
was plenty of distance.
But,
trust me.
but the other thing is when I'm walking on that trail, they're so quiet, they zip up right behind me really, really close and scare me to bits.
Same with me.
Yeah,
Well, that's just poor cycling
Yeah.
skills.
They're
It
supposed to-
is,
they're
but-
supposed to stand.
Yeah,
well,
on the left, yeah.
But that also reinforces the point that I wish we could ban headphones.
well, and the other thing is,
Well,
So, I
they
got a question.
probably passed a
Yeah, we're
bunch of
not doing
people walking the other way that didn't slow them down or stop them either. Right? It's because everyone thinks someone else is gonna do it.
Yeah.
Right? And you gotta at least try.
Can I
That
ask
is
one more
mine.
question? Sorry. So I agree with everything we've talked about. And as somebody who's an e-scooter, I don't want to say this, but I'm still gonna ask. I mean, I still see lots of people on e-scooters, on whatever the one-wheel thing is.
yeah.
Do
I see
we,
that guy in Old Bonham almost. every
there's
day.
a couple kids now too that are, and again, those youngsters, what are they doing? Do we need to expand this beyond just e-bikes? Cause it's by definition, in my e-scooter, I can go out and.
Right.
Well, I'll ask,
Okay,
I'll ask. And we won't, doesn't have to come back to you.
Mhm.
As long as you get this in there. So when Beth and the police chief starts really looking at it, it's not a bad idea to just, because we already have the code for everything else. It's just adding, we're just adding
Yeah.
this classification in there.
and I think we just, I mean, again, we just, more than putting like the e-bikes, just the speed limit's 15, whatever
Yes.
you're on.
Whatever vehicle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know
Yeah.
that may, cause then the next trend that comes out is hoverboards. You
right.
know, then somebody's,
Right,
you know,
right.
now we're, yeah,
Your jetpack.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want one of those, by the way.
Then you run into the bird problem. When you.
Yes, yes. So do we need to make a motion?
We do, it's right here.
I figured it was there.
I'll make a motion to approve amending the municipal code to define e-bicycles and limit access in parks and forward the recommendations to the city council.
Second, no, Jim, no, this is all you. No, It's Jim.
All right. All in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
all opposed? Any abstentions? Passed.
Have we ever had an abstention?
Huh?
Have we ever had somebody abstain from?
Yeah. Occasionally,
Yeah,
well, there's occasionally something where someone's got
property or
a
something?
property that's on their street or something. Okay, 8, park work plan,
Yes, green team.
green team.
Green Team, and we had some excitement from Green Team. You wanna share
She's like.
That could be that
it?
exciting.
We
She doesn't
signed,
remember.
we signed up for the 2025
Oh,
challenge.
okay. I was like, did something more happen that I don't know?
Like, did we get
Okay.
ready? What?
No, we're entered for 2025.
Participating in.
Yeah, so it'll be great. It'll be grand, as they say. Okay,
And I don't know if we said this at the last time when we talked about Green Team, but our focus is waste reduction.
yes. That'll be our focus for 2025 too. We did a really good job with Holy Festival. We.
We did, Fred, there was no way for me
We
from Holy Festival.
So much
Yes,
recycling stuff is
it was
amazing.
unbelievable.
And the water
But
just
we-
went away.
And the volunteers that came out.
But we did try, at least.
did
part.
try.
So at
We
least
were
we've,
prepared.
we've gone through the steps to.
Yeah.
So
to
you know what you
use
need.
the recycling services
Yeah.
from Earth Day 365.
So now we can
Um,
gear up for it for, Party in the Park.
So, yeah, when I do my report to the community from the council meeting, the green team, you got approved for 2025, or you just got?
No, we entered, it's just the department, it's not the city. It's the Parks and Recreation Department has entered the.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I share it with the
yeah.
city.
So we're participating
We
again.
are continuing we're continuing in the challenge.
And the focus is.
Waste reduction.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. All right, so we have some exciting outreach opportunities coming up for the whole commission. The first is May 3rd from 9 to 11 here at Five Oaks out on the Centennial Greenway is the official opening celebration. There's a lot of activities planned. It's gonna be pretty cool. There's a lot of partnering agencies coming in. And there will be remarks by the mayor and by a board member from GRG, which is very exciting. And then there's a whole host of things happening. The stream team's coming in, they're gonna do a cleanup. There's a tree, a tour. There's a history tour. The professor is coming, I think, from UMSL to talk about the displacement of the families from Elmwood. So it's gonna be kind of a fun day. There's different stations along the trail to get people all the way out, and then someone's coming from the Missouri Extension, Missouri University Extension will be there, which is exciting, and we may be doing maybe not on this day, but in conjunction with them, a BioBlitz, where you use your full dye naturalist and you do species identification along the trail, which will be pretty exciting. And then, there'll be a booth, there'll be a table where people can do do a nature craft or environmental ed craft. And that will be staffed by, probably by me, and I would love to have parks commissioners there to assist. But it's, probably what we need to do is go back to that sign up that worked so well, the sign up thing again, so I may ask Kate as one of her final duties as a commissioner, help me figure out how we did
I'd
that.
be happy to help. with
Thank
that.
you very much.
So that was a follow-up question, is for some of these things, volunteers needed from this group. Are there also opportunities where you would want me or Patrick, whoever, to reach out to the National Honor Society students?
You know,
for
I'm not
volunteers?
sure. I am just kind of a accessory to this program, because GRG is running it, with Bruce McGregor, and then I'm supporting
Okay.
Bruce on it. So I know my staff's doing the snacks that we're doing, have cookies and lemonade, so probably it might be a good idea.
So is Bruce the person I should contact?
Well,
for
he's
that?
out of town
There's
until
a
Monday.
woman that's been reaching out.
Well, it's Elizabeth Simmons is the coordinator, so let me reach out to Elizabeth and see if she
Okay.
needs volunteers, because I
Because
think that
part
would
of
be
it too is I had just like had one little email with Bruce about doing a stream cleaning.
cool. Okay,
But if, like, it sounds like there's people from Stream Team, like that
Yes,
organization
they
that's
are,
coming?
the organization's coming, yes, and then
Okay.
we're going to have extra tables and pop-up tents out there so that, because all of it in Bloom wants to come out, I think all of it sustainability advocates, just to do interactions with anybody that shows up. With these types of events, they never really know how many people are gonna be there.
Yeah.
So we're thinking if we get 100, 150 to 200, that it would be a raging success. And it's weather.
I'd say if it's a
It's-
really
it-
pretty day.
It could be, if it's like today, we'll probably have a lot of people, but there is a strong chance it'll rain and then we might not get anyone.
Is
Yeah.
this gonna be an event where signs will be put up?
Yes, they're gonna have little signs to point you to things along the Greenway, because they want people to walk the length of the Greenway. There'll be someone from the Army Corps of Engineers down by the bioretention basin to kind of explain how it operates. I had an amazing picture to show you, that puppy full, and it fell out of the Google file that Bruce had put it in, so I couldn't show it, but I'll show you our other ones.
I meant signs like that go on.
Around the
Like,
community.
yeah, the streets are there.
Oh, there are not. We are not doing yard signs for this event. The Great Rivers Greenway's been pushing it out through all of their channels. The city has been pushing out through the city channels and they'll be
Yeah,
posted on
so
social
whatever.
media. We have a poster up in the building here. But Great Rivers Greenway has kind of a broad reach.
Mhm.
So they're, it's their baby. They're pushing it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do
still
know
planning to
that
be
there
there.
will be some of us.
Huh?
that will
You're saying
be
you
able to
can't be
be
there.
A lot of people can't be there.
Maybe
Yeah,
Saturday,
I will not
like
be
it's
there.
my last day of Shabbat school, and, but we didn't have to say in the time, GRG kind of.
Yeah, because it's GRG's event,
And
so they
they've
have
got
the time.
Multiple events that day.
They do.
So, I know that, I feel bad that I won't be there because I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Me too, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing something else. at that
I know, it's spring in St. Louis. It's a jam-packed time. Absolutely.
What time do you want us there?
I would think if you were there, let's get the sign up sheet going and that, what you sign up for will determine the time we need you
Okay,
there.
okay.
How about that? Okay, because I'd hate to tell you now and then be wrong and. Okay, very quickly.
The 60th anniversary.
Yeah, we have the 60th anniversary and we have Party in the Park. Party in the Park is Friday, May 9th from 5 to 8. We would absolutely need your help for this. Again, it'll be another sign up. We need help. The city staff are doing the food. So there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, we could not get a food vendor. Number two, we're really trying to reduce our costs of our events and recoup back costs. We had a sweet ride while we were developing these projects. We did a lot of decentralized outreach into all the parks to get engagements for the park master plan. But now with our operations of this building and feeling pinches in the city budget, we're really trying to rein in the events and start recouping back operating costs. So you'll see changes in the events throughout the year. A lot of the underperforming events we will not continue. You'll start seeing fees come back. We used to charge for Harvest Festival. We're gonna bring back those fees. And then Party in the Park, we will do the food. The staff are excited about doing it. We did a test run here. We did an event for city employees to test it out. It worked well. We did an opening day for the Cardinals and we cooked, the staff cooked the lunch and served it and met all of the food handling protocols and it was a success. So we were gonna move forward with that. Party in the Park is our first rollout of that and then we'll do it again at Harvest Festival. It saves us thousands of dollars.
That's what I was gonna say. If you
Yeah.
could do that every time.
Yes.
That would be like amazing.
Yeah, so we're fingers crossed. Again, it's tough because you never know how many people are gonna come. Last year we had about 300 because it rained before, during and after the event, but then we
Yes, it
had
did.
moments when it didn't. But it should be pretty good. We're excited about it. Fallon's will still do the alcohol sales. We're not ready to do that. Then the Saints Throwback, this we are charging for. There's two separate components. If we get the numbers we're targeting, we will recoup back the cost of all the skates and then we hope to make back probably double what we spend on food costs for that. And then we will be selling alcohol for the 21 plus. Your VIP ticket will get you a drink ticket and maybe some other tchotchke. We're still working on that. But we are gonna cap the numbers of people too, because we do not want it to be truly like Saints when the building was totally over capacity and overwhelmed and. Yeah, it'll be Saints Throwback. It won't be an actual recreation
And where's the skating gonna actually?
in the gym.
In the gym.
In the gym, yeah, and we're renting standard quad skates and inline skates. Yeah, so it's going to be fabulous, but we really need.
Orthopedics on site?
I was gonna ask if the paramedics were.
And are you bringing in a floor? for
We
the
are
event?
not, we are not. We
That's
checked,
what I'm wondering.
so we checked with the manufacturer. The reason we chose this floor is because it is multi-purpose. You can walk on it with heels. We put tables and chairs on it and it's fine.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's good.
we are renting the skates from companies where they don't go outside and we'll be cleaning them. And if someone has their own precious pair of skates that they want to bring in, they'll be checked and then the wheels cleaned because grit is our enemy. No grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for Party in the Park, it's a sixties theme, so start thinking about any costume. Better be a good one from Bill Hansen.
See, it should be the seventies,
gonna
cause
wear a
I've got a work party that's seventies themed, so I've gotta figure out
Well-
something that's full.
The Saints is gonna be seventies. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. So they're gonna start heavily pushing out the Party in the Park information because we wanna have costumes for dogs.
Mhm.
What
a couple of-
They're gonna do flower crowns as the craft for the kids. It's gonna be
Do
really
we know
cute.
the hours for the skate?
It's right on there. It's 1 to 3 for family
It's okay, I
and
was looking
6
at
to
it.
9 for adults.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have the
But
disc?
what is a VIP?
Are you gonna have the
What does
disco
VIP
ball?
get?
VIP will get you a drink ticket and something else to be determined. And we'll push out more information. They're
Are you
they're
gonna have
still
a disco
figuring it
ball
out.
in the evening?
We're hoping to have a disco ball. We're hoping, we're working,
Yeah.
but you know, our
Oh,
budget
Saints
is,
had one.
I know, we're really hoping so. We did find one of the old Saints, actually 2 of the old Saints DJs, so we're in negotiations. We don't know. We don't know. It'll be exciting. It'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
There's some buzz around this. People are.
Yeah, so you know the time isn't on there.
No, it is.
It is.
I couldn't pick it out.
Family skate, one
It's
can't.
in the mix.
It is,
I
there
wish
it
they'd
is.
put it in
Yes,
different font or
yes.
something. I
Never
had trouble
mind, I
pinpointing
can't
it.
read, I'm blind.
What's happening between 3 to 6?
Everybody's resting.
Okay.
And they're
Setting
cleaning
up for the night.
And they're
setting up for the
cleaning
night,
up.
Yeah.
The kids go home.
So where do you need us?
Well, that will be determined. Probably,
Again, it'll be on the list.
probably throughout, probably building monitors. Cause we're gonna have, people are not gonna be able to take drinks into the gym. There's gonna
Right.
be all sorts of stuff. And we're hoping that there'll be like a little VIP lounge, or maybe kind of fun, something fun to do in there. So there'll be a lot of jobs. The staff is meeting next week to start hammering out. You know, all the places, because this is a big event. We are hoping to recoup back all of the expenses for having this event. So that's our goal.
Don't worry about the weather.
Okay, so any other questions about these two? It's pretty exciting. Okay. I wanted to thank you all for doing your park walks. The form's working and not everything can go in the form, so I wanted to kind of highlight the 3 best photos that came in between last meeting and this meeting. So we have, the tree across the trail. That's awesome. We have the tree that has, I'm not sure you can see, there's a giant.
Yeah.
I was gonna send you a
Spider
picture
web.
of that, and oh, somebody's already done it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you see the yellow throughout the,
If you see it from the other side, there's also some white rope up
yeah,
there
there's
as
some
well.
white rope on the trunk, yep.
Yeah.
And then we have the cute dog pointing to the fact that the the wind speed regulator got blown apart in the storm. So,
That's George.
yeah.
Say, I recognize that, John.
That's
Yeah.
George. She's
Yeah.
not barking in that picture, but normally he's
Yeah.
barking.
So thank you for doing that. Keep up the good work. Jim pointed out today that we need to add veterans to the list.
Well, that was on my list.
Oh, but you said you couldn't get this, I thought you wasn't in.
No,
there.
I couldn't even get to the document.
Oh, you couldn't get to the document.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I took the document that we had before. And so just the URL or whatever, I could not find the
Okay,
document.
okay,
Okay.
I went back to the emails
okay.
and so,
So you need the Google Doc.
well, the form didn't seem to be working because
Oh, the
when I
Google
got to
Sheet, yeah.
something. It showed all the names, but it didn't show drop downs in some of that.
Oh, well, there's 2 different forms. Oh, show the names of the parks, not the names of the commissioners.
Both.
The drop
So,
down.
so anyway, I just need to know where to go.
Okay,
So we need to
So you're
make sure
Jim.
we have.
So on the drop down,
Please.
select Jim.
Right, but there weren't drop downs on the document that I had, so
were you on your phone or you on your computer?
both.
Okay, so there might have been a little hiccup today. Yeah.
Right, I didn't know whether it's in Google Docs or
Okay.
where it is.
Okay. Well, we'll investigate that. Thank you. Okay. Oops, going back. Any other progress updates from the working groups? You guys kind of gave your
Yeah, we're kind of working through that
excellent.
for the. Trying to think, is there a longer list? Like for the rest of the year of activities, I know, for like the dark skies to like add that to our agenda, or not our agenda, or put our plan.
You guys are doing well on your plan. A lot of it's
Okay.
checked off. A lot of it's the stuff that's done annually. So
Yeah.
the low hanging fruit, you've like the parking was done, the soccer parking was completed. The fees are done now. You're working on the dark sky. Green team did a.
Oh, I was talking for the green,
Brilliant
yeah,
job.
for the pineapple, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot on there that's been completed. So at next month, I can come in and bring an update. So, yeah, I'll add that for future agenda items. Yeah, that right now. So, put on there in May, we'll have the work plan update, so we can check off all the good stuff. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and you might have a new commissioner by then. Okay, all right,
When?
News to you?
in by May, are you're
You're
gonna
not
have,
in July.
pardon me,
No, we have.
Oh, a new commissioner.
maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
I was thinking you were talking about yourself. I'm like, what were you doing?
No, I'm not.
But
going anywhere.
commissioner, okay,
Commissioner,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant,
Mike.
I thought,
yeah, or,
no,
Well,
no, we haven't,
but Mike
we
first.
haven't, we just been interviewing.
No, they just
Mike's
interviewed, they haven't
position.
appointed anybody,
We've
but I
not-
think
No.
by May you will have, won't you?
We're gonna be appointed Tuesday. morning.
Okay, all right, great, okay,
But that's for Mike's position.
Right.
Then
Not
we have
sure.
to open
yeah,
up
then there'll be another one, yeah. so you
Another
have
round.
Yeah,
That's
Kate's
what that looked like.
position And
Yeah.
Brian's position
Yeah.
on PCDC.
excellent,
And then we'll go through the process.
Okay.
again.
Again.
all right, so I'm gonna go very quickly through this, we have
We're
some
on
exciting
item number
stuff.
9. by the
Item
way.
9, we have
Go.
very exciting stuff in here. Okay, so, our typical membership update, you can see, we've added 56 people since the last meeting. We're up to 1,582. Now, I have something very, very exciting here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it. My concern is, I'm gonna click this link, it's gonna take us to another website, but I think I have to reshare.
Wait, hold on,
My
I can't
screen.
register.
So let me, I could send this. to
Why
you.
is 4% and 70% in the same triangle?
think the
once
four
the
should be
yellow
stacked.
shifted.
Uh,
'Cause, yeah,
oh,
it gets
I see.
squeezed, it
Okay.
gets squeezed by when we put it into
Okay.
PowerPoint. I'm gonna stop the share and then I'm going to,
Are you not sharing your desktop? You're sharing mine.
well, you have to share the individual screen, so let me get over here.
Okay. Do you need a drum roll?
You're
I
really
know,
good.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
No, I'm
Really good.
sorry, I knew this was
Did you
gonna
want to
happen.
do with your electricity?
You're back on that?
Did you lose your internet?
Can you right mouse click and
that's
open it in the
great.
same browser window? Can you just open it in there? It's already
I
shared
have to do control click. There it goes.
and open it right
Okay,
there.
all right,
and then
there we
you don't
go.
have to share it.
All right, now let's get back over to Zoom. Then I will share my screen.
And it's already there.
There we go. Okay. So we used to do this really fun thing with participate. It's not there. Why is it not there? Why can you not see
Something
it?
just changed. It went from blue to purple.
Why are you not seeing that? Let me see if I can.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there we go. All right. So back in the day, we used to map out where our participants were coming from, and then Google turned off that function. However, now, let's see if I get there, but now we found a new way to do it. So we now can show you where our members come from for Five Oaks.
Huh?
Yeah, this is really exciting.
So it's like
Let's
this
see if I
guy?
can get this over here. Hang on, you need to be able to see this.
Somebody from Wentzville?
Oh, did you not
Or
see?
somebody in Phoenix.
Did you
Yeah.
not see Arizona? Okay, so that,
But they only live there.
College.
now that pickleball is significant. Let's see if I can.
Oh, because they're old. Because like,
Okay, so
That's one way to look
so
at
let
it.
me, before I zoom in, let me show you this. 'cause
He's not
when I-
recording.
You know we're being recorded.
When I zoom in, you'll lose this.
so
So,
what I mean is like, It's
don't
if
live
you
here.
have.
They're a snowbird.
Why no, if you have Renew Active, you can join everything.
Correct, so we have
And-
people that are here part of
yeah.
the time of the year.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
Cause I'm
So-
I'm a member of a.
All right, let's
community
focus.
center in
Okay.
Salt Lake City.
Okay. So there's I'm gonna turn off Renew Active for right now, just so that you see the
The
page,
difference.
and these are only, right now, go away. Okay. Okay. All right, so each one of these colors is a different type, so when you click on it, you can see this is an adult non-resident member and who pays monthly. And then over here, you have, this is a 60+ non-resident household who paid the annual fee, so they're color coded. But you can see our outreach is pretty amazing, and then when you zoom in, and these are all paid members, there are none of the, the employees that get.
What about, are the corporate in mixed in
Yeah,
here?
So these are business.
corporate's on here too.
Okay.
Corporate's
So
listed
some
on
of
here
these
too.
are workers.
Some of these are workers,
Yeah.
yes. So what's interesting is you start to see distribution is fairly even as you look around the city.
North of Olive versus South.
And it looks fairly even, and of course, there's more houses down here, but I was worried when we first did it that we would see clusters.
Mhm.
And we would see areas that are not participating. So I would say, it's pretty representational. And what's really interesting is when you get down into some neighborhoods and you have like 3 houses in a row that are members, which is really cool. Now, when I add on
Creepy.
Active Renew,
We get there.
add on Active Renew Active, then you see the reach of this is pretty amazing, that Renew Active, look at that.
All
Now,
over.
yeah. And people do come, they come to play pickleball mainly.
Mhm.
Yeah, the pickleball is a big draw. So each one, when they come, we get $5 or,
Mhm.
yeah, we get $5 for them. But I mean, it's better than nothing, but
Can you pull it down just a little more? How far north does it go?
it goes pretty far north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes pretty
Okay.
far north. Yeah. It's interesting to St. Charles too. So
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is there are people that probably work in all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's no way to tie
Especially-
that.
Well, there is, because it says resident, so that means that they work in all of that, because if you work in all of that, you get resident rate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been the city's policy for programs going back, and that is part of the fact that all of it swells by 40% during the day, because
Correct.
we have all of our industrial parks and businesses here.
Cause if they lived in Olivet, they'd have an Olivet address.
Correct.
So
Correct.
we're getting their
Yeah.
address of their residence, not
Yeah.
of the business.
Well, the other thing that's pretty interesting is, let me turn off Renew Active again. What's interesting too is when you see the concentrations really are within all of that. And then you
Right.
can start to see, we've done some targeted mailers over into Creve Coeur, and you can see they're working. So this tells us we should probably so we have not mailed over here. We could, because there is no community center here. There are private clubs, but there's no community center in here. Now, Ladue, we typically don't mail past Ladue Road, but perhaps we should consider doing a mailing to Ladue Road. Traditionally, we used to send mailings down to 6440, but we really didn't think there would be much merit to mailing past this. But then you look, we do have Ladue members right here. So it's interesting, because again, Ladue doesn't have a community center either. They have the private golf clubs, they have the racket club down here. And then they have Frontenac has the tennis center over here, but that tennis does not have a lot of pickleball. The racket club does, but those are pretty pricey.
Well, you have
They've
the
got
Clayton,
lifetime.
does the Clayton Center?
And Lifetime's right
Lifetime's
here.
outrageously
Yeah,
expensive.
The Clayton Center's over here, but when you put on, when we put back Renew Active, you see we have quite a few concentrations in Clayton, right by their community center. Oops, okay.
Yeah,
so-
cause I can't
Yeah.
remember, I can't remember if the Clayton Center has, I don't think they have pickleball.
They do,
They
they do.
do,
yeah.
okay.
Now, the one thing that we've been impacted by is U City reopened.
Oh,
So U City reopened, they have a lot of pickleball hours. So there are, some of our regular players are going over there. They've been unhappy with them, for various reasons, and they've been hammering them pretty hard. I'm glad I don't work for U City right now. But they do come back to us, free coffee. Big draw.
Well, and Clayton's annoying because
No,
you gotta put up with all those students.
Yeah, people don't like that. They
Yeah,
really don't like that. at
really,
Clayton.
after
We
3
have
o'clock,
people that
it's
join
really
here
hard.
and say they
Yes.
left Clayton because of that.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting is we have a lot of members over by the J.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, we're a lot cheaper. We don't have the pool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway, so this, we just got this today, so you're seeing it before some of the staff. So it's very exciting and we'll really be using this for some of our targeting,
Yeah,
so,
this is
So
really
I-
helpful.
yeah.
A question on pickleball. Do we have some way that people can join and get pickleball as part of their membership?
Pickleball is included in your membership when you. join.
Okay, so with all of those pickleball folks, are they all on a daily basis or are they?
If they're pink, they're Renew Active, which means that they join for free, but every time they swipe in, we get
Yeah.
money.
So every time they come to play. we
Okay,
get money.
so the lab, I guess it's pink.
It's pink. So that is, it's the United Healthcare version of Silver Sneakers.
Right, no, I understand.
So some of them, some pickleball players join, but a lot of them are using Renew Active.
We do have the younger pickleball players tend to be
Join.
paying, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why we tried to do the mixer to charge money, to get a little more money out of these pickleball players. The clinics are very successful right now. We have a new pro. I took the workshop last night. She's very good. So that's bringing in we have 2 people that have never played ever before taking the beginner one, and I think those 2 will join as members. Yeah, so it's been really good. Okay, now let's see if I can
Get back out of here.
get back out of here. Okay, so
Woohoo.
now I need to
So-
stop my share. My screen sharing is paused.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I just saw that you had the post Zoom. Are we still on Zoom?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, we're still, so, yeah, that, I don't know why that's there, but we're still, here's your active, well, you can't see it, but we have I'll move it over, we have an active Zoom window, it's still going, it's still recording. Okay,
All right. So
Okay.
rental statistics is what-
yeah, so rental statistics, you asked to know at the last meeting what's happened and what's coming, so Pat pulled it out for you, we've got, so far this year, we've had 568 multipurpose room
Wow.
sessions, 31 are upcoming. Same with, so playground rentals, we have 5 upcoming, 10 upcoming for the kitchen, 1 upcoming for the private gym, and 7 for the studio. So the upcoming rentals total over 20,000 in revenue.
And is this for this year only, 2025,
Yes,
or from July to July?
from July to July.
Oh, okay.
And you know, with facility rentals coming in spurts.
Yeah.
We had some sunny days, so all of a sudden picnic reservations are going up. After the big storm, when we had that beautiful day, that was 80 degrees, we had like 5 calls. So,
Sorry.
What are you doing over there?
You wanted to see what people were saying.
Behave yourself.
Dude, you need to run this meeting with an iron fist.
Oh, my God. Do I need to turn it off for you?
Need to censor him.
Need a tutorial? All right. All right, are you done? Do I need you to turn it off now?
I need to stay focused.
And now we can talk about how many consumers.
Oh, my God. All right, facility rental statistics, we're done?
On
Okay.
that note,
Maxine, item number 10.
item number 10, well, first, congratulations to Kate Pashon Hellman.
Thank you.
And I said at the beginning, and to Brian Lewis, he'll be a wonderful addition to the city council. And I'd like to invite everyone Tuesday night because we'll be the changing of the guard and the swearing in of Kate. And we are gonna have a little reception afterwards, like for commission members and family and friends and with Missy, I I say stepping down, she's not really stepping down. that's the word. What?
Retirement
anxiety? She did not run for reelection. So Missy and Rick, out as a way of honoring them as well as welcoming the new members. That's Tuesday at 7. And then, this past few meetings, we've really been just we've started a little bit of the budget process because, we've learned that like, if we start and do it in bits and pieces, so we just had like some basic intro stuff with Darren Mann to look at like capital improvements and certain trends going on in the city, but there was really more of a pause because we want to wait for the new people to be on board and so that everyone can be on the same plan. We had an update that Jennifer Yackley gave us about the Olive Crossing. And we should see some mud moving. I haven't been down Olive in the last few days, but there should be some earth moving in the lots, 2, 3,
east.
4. Is it moving?
I saw,
Okay.
there's been people out there.
There's trailers out now, and so that is the starting of the building of Brass Tack and Paris Baguette, and there will be a third like restaurant kind of in there. And they'll have a patio outside, and then that will also include the finishing of the basin, of the detention basin. And so that should all be enclosed by the fall so that they can be finishing it up, the interior during the winter and hopefully open by next spring. I'm hoping it will move a little faster. All these, I hear amazing things from people everywhere I go out in the community, just how much people in Olivet are loving it, people that are getting off 170 are loving it. There hasn't been any major changes or anything going on. I know that EDC will be soon announcing who the winners are for the best business and best, or favorite business and favorite restaurant. And but we're just looking forward mostly to the new changes with the council.
All right,
Oh, and can I add one thing, not part of city council, but you know, Sue brought refreshments tonight and to honor Kate and Michael, but the truth is, we should be honoring Sue because Sue retired last Friday. From her.
thanks, Max.
That's a biggie, that's a biggie.
Which is why I had time to do this.
Congratulations.
So.
Tell you that.
Ball thing and.
Oh, I did go home.
Or walking the parks and terrorizing, e-bikers.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, you're the angry retired person.
We're gonna
I
get
was
you a
really, I
sash.
was laughing at him.
We're gonna get you a sash or a badge.
I was laughing because I'm like, what are the odds that I'm gonna be walking and here come 3 of them flying at me? I'm like, that's good.
But seriously, thank you, Sue, for all you do, and now you have more time to do more now.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yes.
With all of the Doge talk and talking about, you know, federal cuts to different budgets, has there been anything that's impacted all of that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
I know where I work, there have been like with security grants and things, but, not. They would probably be forthcoming, but not yet.
Okay.
We have nothing's official.
Thank you.
All right, item number 11,
Okay,
department reports.
here we go. Let's see how fast I can do this. Okay. Bioretention pictures, woo-hoo, also called BMPs. So this is
They're
behind us,
working.
so that's 7 o'clock at night, and then the one on the right is 9 o'clock.
This
at
was
night.
after the 6-inch.
This
grid.
was April 4th, yeah,
Yeah,
so
after that big-
I sent you the storm report, I put it in this update, but I didn't wanna go through it, cause
Yeah.
you all had a chance to read it. This is the April 4th, so that's the bioretention as you leave out, going out, the driveway.
It worked.
Yeah, it really worked. It's amazing. So a lot of people see these and don't know what they are, and then all of a sudden the rain comes. This was
And it
during
comes.
our art gallery opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are
It's-
there it'll fill in with plants though.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
plants planted in there.
That's what
It
I
takes a
thought.
while.
I'm
There are
thinking-
not as many plants planted in here as there are Stacy's. Stacy's is beautiful. If you
Yeah.
go by and see
It's
Stacy's.
really filled in.
And then I went, after this, I went to check Stacy's and it wasn't near to the top. Stacy has been overflowed in the past, but not
Okay.
this time.
How did the Indian Meadows?
It did really well. There's
Yeah.
some erosion around the intake, but that usually happens the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's,
No, it's
and the
pretty good.
Indian Meadows one is filled twice now. Yeah, it's massive.
It's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Baseball's off to a start. A little, again, rained out start. It's coming along. You can see a lot of field conditioner around, home plate there to soak up the water. That's opening night for David. That's David Charles, who was, born and raised in all of that, and he's moved back into the region. He comes and works out here quite a bit, and his photography's on display. We had our, performance for the circus camp. Huge hit with families as always, and now the summer one is filling up. Parks is really busy. This is a very busy time of year, so they're doing trail maintenance. This is the beautiful new fence, new
Yeah.
old fence, repurposed fence.
Mhm.
Down along Bottom Estates, the residents there are very happy about it. That green post at the end is going to be painted black. And then you really won't really know that it's a new fence, thank goodness. And so they're almost done with the stretch above the retaining wall in Old Bonham. And then they're gonna move on to cleaning up all the playgrounds, because the playgrounds all have to be power washed to get the leaves off all of them.
So question, so I noticed, I thought you were leaving the fence along the retaining wall along Old Bond.
We are, they had to take down the barbed wire chain link, but we're putting this type of
Oh,
They're
fence.
putting that
going in
prettier
there.
fence up.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's I went by this morning, it was half done or 2/3 done, and they're
Oh,
almost
okay.
finished.
So the 1960 barbed wire is going away.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, thank goodness. That's our new water dog. You guys all got to hear about that water dog before council voted on that, and it already came. It was amazing how fast it came. And Brian, I don't know if you can tell, he's got. a
He looks
huge
very
smile.
happy.
He is so happy. He is so happy. That, you guys, seriously, this is a game changer for him. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
excited.
Yeah, and then I wanted to do something, I wanted to share kind of some fun stuff, you know, it's a great time in the parks, we're getting amazing photos of things coming into bloom. But we have, you know, with our habitat restoration, we also have some species that have been clinging on. And now it's being rewarded, so this is something you'll see, so you can see where you are, because this is, get my mouse over onto the right page. There we go. Come on. There it is, okay, that's Old Bonham School. This is, so right, this is the yew bushes around that old memorial in that little sad corner. Bonham Estates is like right here. This is a field here of solitary bees. I can never pronounce it correctly. It's Andronid. I don't think I'm saying it right, but they're also digger or mining bees. Now, what's really cool about these bees is, number one, they're not dangerous. They don't sting. Number two, they are they're a species that's tied to a specific flower. They emerge exactly when that flower is blooming, and that's the only thing that they will pollinate. And there's a little close-up over, they almost looks like a little spider in it, but that's a
Yeah.
that's a little bee coming out. So they dig down and the eggs are buried, you know, the previous year, so these guys will be going around getting pollen, mating, and laying their eggs for next year, so it's very short-lived. And there's a lot of them in Missouri, but what's interesting is they don't always know what the bee is, they're very hard to identify, so the way they identify them is what flower they're going to. So we have scientists and grad students that come from UMSL and WashU and other places to Stacy because we have these types of species. Pardon me?
A little bigger, what is the white, is that like?
That's, no, he's got little feelers, it's fur, it's hair, the
Looks
little,
like a little skeleton.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
hair.
and then the pollen
hair.
sticks to
Yeah,
it.
the pollen
and
sticks
that's
to the
how they
hairs.
pollinate
Yeah.
Got a helmet on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a miner.
Yeah.
Looks like a
So-
miner.
Some of these bees in Missouri are critically endangered, so having these types of colonies at Stacy Park are phenomenal. So we've identified so far, we have hibiscus bees. They aren't out yet because the hibiscus aren't blooming yet. But I don't know what these are. because there's nothing moving around there. So like the hibiscus bees goes to the hibiscus in the prairie and the pond, but they actually nest way up by the ball field. So where these bees are going, I don't know. But it's fascinating, and I thought you
So-
all might get a thrill out of it.
So do you need, or should you kind of fence off that
No.
area so people aren't tromping on them?
No, people just tend not to go over
Well,
there.
and that was my next question.
Yeah,
Do you need to put up a sign? Some people freak out, like bees, I'm sitting there weeding my garden and if you
Yeah.
leave them alone, they're not gonna attack you,
Yeah.
but some people really freak out.
so what we tend to do is we put up signs when we need to. So
Okay.
at the old dog park, we had a whole bunch of cicada killers. So we put up signs there because they're very frightening looking. They're huge. They cannot sting people. They're physically incapable of stinging people. But people got frightened by them.
Right.
And then if we were to try and dig them up and exterminate them, which you wouldn't want to do, it would then poison any dog going into the dog park because you would,
Right.
the amount of
Right.
pesticides needed. So we put up signs to tell people what they are. Do you remember those?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, we don't need the sign anymore because we've relocated the dog park. But, and last year during the cicada hatch, I really meant to go over there and see how many, there must have been a bumper year.
Yeah.
But anyway, doing these kinds of fun things and pushing this out, I think is really important. So we're gonna do a post on social media, tell people what they are. We will probably wait until they're done
Yeah.
before we
Yes.
put it
Because now
out.
Yeah.
people go over there and look at
Right.
it and then cause problems.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, people just see it, and to someone just walking by on the trail, they think, oh yeah, it's really not, there's really isn't a lot of grass over there. Well, there's a reason.
Or,
Yeah, yeah. So it's really cool. So I thought I love this kind of stuff. So I
Yeah,
just
that is
wanted to
really
share.
A
Yeah.
question with this, if we've got that kind of habitat there, when we do our prairie burns, are we destroying some?
We're not. That's why we time the prairie burn when we do. And then that's why we.
So they're still at, whatever's there is still way underground.
Way underground, exactly. So we don't go into, very far because if we were to burn like at this time of year, we would be burning turtles, frogs. But we just don't. So that's why the burns happen only in the winter time. Yeah. Now, in the summertime, when a natural wildfire occurs, yes, animals do perish.
Right.
Yeah. But they've survived. And so these guys underground, they'd be totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So that's everything you want to say
That's
there?
everything. Okay.
Personnel update?
Yeah,
personnel.
sorry, personnel update, I apologize. Personnel update, I don't have a photo of Dave to show you. Dave Ricard started, last year he was seasonal, this year he is now part-time, as they used to call permanent part-time. So instead of working 40 hours a week just for 2 months in the summer, we now get him 29 hours a week year-round. So he
Right.
can't work more than 1,000 hours, but this is phenomenal because now Brian can have a horticultural assistant year-round. Eventually, yes, we would absolutely like to have that be full-time. He needs at least 2 assistants, especially when we take on the new extension of the Greenway. Yeah, so, yeah, because we're victims of our own success. And you can tell it's summertime because, look at everything happening, lots going
Yeah.
on. So it's a pretty exciting time.
So everyone can see that, right? And item number 12, you can see the list of things.
Yes.
13, future agenda items,
Okay.
annual habitat.
Yep, next month,
restoration.
Brian will be here to give you his animal, like, that's a Freudian slip. It is, there will be animals. His habitat restoration report, so that's pretty exciting.
All right,
So I have one comment or question for Beverly, and it's public knowledge, but I just wanna make sure, I am planning on sending your proclamation because it is so good. It's better than all the other proclamations I've seen, because Kansas City did one and theirs was like nothing compared to yours. And, I was gonna send it.
I found a typo, so let me get you the,
Oh, I think I did, yeah, I think
Yeah,
I saw that.
yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna send it to like Brentwood, Clayton, Freeport,
Ooh.
Kirkwood,
oh,
to tell them they should do it.
oh,
Don't do that. That's why I'm asking. If you don't want me to, I won't.
well,
I won't do it.
let me think about it.
Have that conversation offline.
Yeah, I'll have
Okay.
that offline.
not being
Yeah,
recorded.
yeah. But thank you for your compliment, I appreciate it.
I move we adjourn.
Second, anyone have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Hi.
Alright,
Any opposed? We're out of here.
Kate, is that your last second? You should have done it first.
Kate, thanks
First,
again.
last, second?
Okay, hang on, let me pause the recording.
Easy.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Yes. You can tell us what it's
Thank you
like.
for everything you did for us.